So, if you're an MMA nerd like I am, when you see a matchup, you want to know where someone is strong, you want to know where they're vulnerable, and you want to know how those two styles are going to clash once the cage door closes. Well, good news, you're in the right spot. Today, we're going to talk about Rafael Fiziev and Manuel Torres. Buckle up. Manuel Torres has finished nearly everyone he's beaten, and Rafael Fiziev has spent years competing with the best strikers in the sport. The question isn't whether both men are dangerous. We know they are. The question is whether Torres can drag Fiziev into the kind of fight he wants, or if Fiziev can put on a striking masterclass. Let's break it down. Before we get into scoring, first we need to understand each fighter's blueprint. This segment answers one question: who is this fighter when the cage door closes? We'll break down their archetypes, we'll look at their best weapons, strengths, and weaknesses, and understand how they're built and what makes them dangerous. Rafael Fiziev is an A-tier technical striker built around precision, efficiency, and elite stand-up fundamentals. He combines sharp shot selection, exceptional defensive awareness, and high-level kickboxing technique to consistently win exchanges against dangerous opponents. What separates Fiziev from many strikers is his ability to remain defensively responsible while still creating meaningful offense. He rarely wastes movement, rarely throws without purpose, and constantly looks to make opponents pay for mistakes. His combination of technique, timing, and striking intelligence make him one of the most accomplished stand-up fighters in the lightweight division. Manuel Torres is an A-tier dynamic striker. He's built around aggression, creativity, and creating the offense around unpredictable situations. He's constantly looking to push exchanges forward, mixing punches, kicks, and opportunistic attacks together in ways that make opponents uncomfortable. Unlike more methodical strikers who prefer controlled exchanges, Torres thrives when opponents become fast-moving and difficult to predict. His willingness to take chances combined with genuine finishing ability allows him to create dangerous moments whenever opportunities present themselves. When Torres is at his best, opponents are forced to react to him rather than execute their own game plans. Every fighter has an operating system. It's the underlying strategy that connects all of their skills together and dictates the type of fight they're trying to create. For Rafael Fiziev, that goal is real simple: turn the fight into a technical battle where skill and decision-making determine the outcome. Everything Fiziev does serves that objective. His footwork helps him control distance. His defensive reactions help him avoid unnecessary damage. His kicks manage range, attack the body, and create openings for his boxing. Even his wrestling improvements serve the same purpose by giving opponents more things to think about. Fiziev isn't trying to overwhelm opponents with volume or pressure. He's trying to create a fight where every exchange happens on his terms. That's what makes him one of the most dangerous strikers in the lightweight division. When his operating system is functioning properly, opponents become frustrated. Their attacks start missing, their mistakes become more frequent, and the fight slowly starts drifting towards areas where Fiziev is the strongest. The cleaner the fight becomes, the more dangerous Rafael Fiziev becomes. Manuel Torres has a simple goal as well: create opportunities before opponents can get comfortable. Everything he does serves that objective. His pressure forces reactions, his jab creates openings, his right hand punishes mistakes. His willingness to take risks creates exchanges that many fighters would rather avoid. Torres isn't trying to win a slow technical battle. He's trying to create moments where his aggression, power, and finishing instincts can take over. That's what's made him one of the most exciting lightweights in the division. When his operating system is functioning properly, opponents are constantly being forced to react. That pace feels uncomfortable. The exchanges become more dangerous, and opportunities begin appearing where they weren't there at the start of the fight. The more urgency Torres can create, the more dangerous he becomes. Every operating system is powered by a set of weapons. Those are the tools that a fighter relies on most when they're at their best. The better these weapons function, the easier it becomes for them to create the type of fight they want. Rafael Fiziev's best weapon is his switch kick, and it is a thing of beauty. Whether he's attacking the body or the head, he throws the technique with exceptional speed and disguises it well behind his boxing. Opponents often become focused with his hands, creating opportunities for the kick to land cleanly. His second best weapon is his lead leg calf kick. Fiziev uses it to disrupt movement, slow opponents down, and create openings for his boxing combinations. It's a weapon that quietly becomes more effective as the fight progresses. His third best weapon is his left body kick. Fiziev is one of the best body kickers in the lightweight division, and this kick allows him to damage opponents while also reducing their ability to maintain pace over time. Manuel Torres' best weapon is his jab. He uses it to establish range, force reactions, and create opportunities for the heavier shots that often follow. When his jab is working, the rest of his offense becomes much harder to anticipate. His second best weapon is the right cross. Torres throws it with speed and conviction. He makes it one of his most dangerous finishing tools. Many of his best offensive sequences are built around creating opportunities for this punch. His third best weapon is his right hook. Whether thrown in combinations or in close range exchanges, it gives Torres another powerful weapon capable of changing the direction of a fight in an instant. Rafael Fiziev's biggest strength is his technical striking. Few lightweights possess this combination of kickboxing fundamentals, defensive awareness, and ability to consistently make good decisions during exchanges. He is extremely difficult to hit cleanly while remaining a constant offensive threat. His kicking game is another major advantage. Fiziev attacks all levels of the body with speed and precision and variety, forcing opponents to account for threats to the leg, body, and head at all times. Those weapons help him control distance and create openings throughout the fight. He also possesses exceptional defensive reactions. Fiziev's head movement, footwork, and ability to anticipate incoming attacks allow him to avoid damage while creating opportunities to counter. Against aggressive opponents, his defensive skills often become offensive weapons. Fiziev's biggest weakness is that he can be forced into higher-paced fights than he prefers. His style is built around precision and efficiency, but opponents who can continuously pressure him and force extended exchanges can reduce some of the advantages created by his technical approach. Wrestling has also been a recurring challenge at times throughout his career. While he's capable defensively, strong wrestlers have found success disrupting his striking rhythm and forcing him to spend time defending rather than attacking. He can also become less effective when opponents refuse to give him the type of exchanges he wants. Fighters willing to absorb risk, pressure forward, and make fights messy can sometimes limit the impact of his technical advantages. Manuel Torres' biggest strength is his finishing ability. Very few lightweights in the division are as aggressive when opportunities appear because he has repeatedly shown the ability to capitalize on mistakes before opponents can recover. Every exchange carries real danger when Torres is involved. His offensive pressure is another major weapon. Torres consistently pushes fights forward and forces opponents to react to him rather than comfortably executing their own game plans. That aggression creates opportunities for his power and combination punching to take over exchanges. He also possesses genuine fight-changing power, whether through his right hand, his hooks, or extended combinations. Torres has the ability to instantly alter momentum of a fight with a single sequence. As good as Manuel Torres is, he has weaknesses, and number one is his defensive responsibility. Because he's constantly looking to create offense, there are moments where he leaves openings that more technical opponents can exploit. Against elite strikers, those defensive lapses can become costly. His aggressive style can also work against him. While it creates finishing opportunities, it occasionally leads into exchanges where he absorbs unnecessary damage to give opponents chances to counter. He's also less proven against elite competition than many top-ranked lightweights. Much of his success has come through overwhelming opponents early, leaving questions about how his style holds up against experienced fighters capable of surviving the initial storm. Now that we understand each fighter's blueprint, it's time to quantify that. The skill matrix answers the question, how do these fighters compare skill for skill? Using the 4 pillars of the fighter index, we'll score all 16 skills to identify where the biggest advantages, vulnerabilities, and phase shifts exist in the matchup. We break down each phase of the fight and score each skill to better understand the strengths and the weaknesses of a fighter's game. All fighter index scores are based on a scale of 1 to 10. Scores are subject to change as a fighter evolves from fight to fight. Here's how the fighter index works. Each fighter is evaluated across 4 pillars made up of 4 key skills. Every skill is scored on a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 represents a non-functional ability and 10 represents a rare or generational skill. Everything in between reflects a fighter's level in that area. Then we combine those scores to calculate the fighter index composite score to see who's the more complete fighter. Pillar 1, Fight IQ and Athletic Tools. The biggest question is whether Manuel Torres can force the type of fast, dangerous fight he prefers before Rafael Fiziev's experience and decision-making begin to take control. Both fighters are excellent athletes, but the separation in this pillar comes from the qualities that influence how the fight unfolds over time. Starting with Fight IQ, Fiziev holds a significant advantage, scoring an 8 compared to Torres' 5. Fiziev has spent years competing against elite opposition and has consistently demonstrated the ability to make adjustments, manage distance, and make good decisions under pressure. Torres is a dangerous offensive fighter, but his aggressive style can sometimes lead to unnecessary risks and exchanges that more experienced opponents can exploit. In athleticism, the fighters are even at 8. Fiziev is a fast, explosive athlete with excellent reactions and movement, while Torres brings speed, power, and the ability to rapidly close distance. Both men possess the physical tools necessary to compete at a high level, making this one of the few categories where neither fighter gains an advantage. Stamina is where Fiziev creates another major separation, scoring an 8 compared to Torres' 5. Fiziev has consistently shown the ability to maintain its effectiveness deep into fights, while much of Torres' success has come from creating finishes before cardio becomes a major factor. If this fight extends beyond the early rounds, this gap could become increasingly important. In resolve, Fiziev holds the edge again, scoring an 8 compared to Torres' 6. Throughout his career, Fiziev has proven that he can compete through adversity against some of the toughest competition in the division. Torres is unquestionably dangerous, but he has yet to demonstrate the same level of resilience against elite competition. Because athleticism is even, while Fiziev holds clear advantages in fight IQ, stamina, and resolve, Pillar 1 clearly favors Rafael Fiziev. Pillar 2, striking and stand-up defense. Here we find the area where this matchup is most likely to be decided. Both fighters are dangerous strikers with legitimate finishing ability, but they achieve success in very different ways. Torres thrives on aggression, pressure, and creating dangerous exchanges. Fiziev relies on technique, defense, and consistently making the right decisions during those exchanges. Starting with striking, Fiziev holds a slight edge, scoring a 9 compared to Torres' 8. Both men are dangerous offensive fighters, but Fiziev's striking is among the most technically refined in their lightweight division. His ability to attack at all angles, manage distance, and blend offense with defense gives him the edge over Torres' more aggressive, power-oriented approach. In the clinch, Fiziev extends that advantage, scoring an 8 compared to Torres' 7. Fiziev is an excellent clinch striker with deep Muay Thai background and consistently shows the ability to create offense from close range. Torres is effective in the clinch as well, but it's generally a transitional area for him rather than a place where he consistently builds advantages. The biggest separation comes in striking defense, where Fiziev scores an 8 compared to Torres' 4. This is one of the most important skill gaps in the entire matchup. Fiziev's defensive reactions, head movement, footwork, and awareness make him one of the most difficult strikers in the division to hit cleanly. Torres' aggression creates offense, but it also creates openings, and against a striker as skilled as Fiziev, those openings can come costly. Chin is the one category that favors Torres, who scores a 7 compared to Fiziev's 6. Torres has shown the ability to walk through adversity and continue applying pressure, while Fiziev has been hurt and finished by elite competition in the past. While neither fighter is easy to stop, Torres' durability gives him the slight edge in this category. Because Fiziev holds advantages in striking, clinch, and striking defense, while Torres only holds an edge in chin, Pillar 2 clearly favors Rafael Fiziev. Pillar 3, grappling and control. Neither fighter is known primarily for dominating opponents on the mat, but the scores reveal another area where Rafael Fiziev holds meaningful advantages. While Torres is at his best in striking exchanges, Fiziev has developed a more complete mixed martial artist and possesses more tools as the fight begins changing phases. Starting with wrestling, Fiziev holds the edge, scoring a 7 compared to Torres' 5. Throughout his UFC career, Fiziev has shown steady improvements in his wrestling, particularly against high-level competition. Torres is capable of defending himself in grappling situations, but wrestling remains one of the more secondary skill sets of his overall game. In takedown offense, Fiziev extends that advantage, scoring a 6 compared to Torres' 4. Neither fighter is likely to build an entire game plan around wrestling, but Fiziev has shown a greater willingness and ability to use takedowns strategically when opportunities present themselves. Torres is much more likely to pursue striking exchanges than proactively change phases. Top control also favors Fiziev because he scores a 6 to Torres' 4. If takedowns do occur, Fiziev is generally more reliable at maintaining position and controlling opponents. Torres hasn't shown the same level of positional consistency once fights reach the mat, making this another area where Fiziev creates separation. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Fiziev holds a slight edge, scoring a 6 compared to Torres' 5. Neither man is known as a submission specialist, but Fiziev's overall grappling game is slightly more developed and better integrated into his MMA skill set. Torres is functional on the ground, but most of his success comes from his striking rather than his grappling. Because Fiziev holds advantages in wrestling, takedown offense, top control, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Pillar 3 clearly favors Rafael Fiziev. Pillar 4, defense scrambles and ground survival. The trend of the matchup continues. While neither fighter is expected to spend large portions of the fight grappling, these scores help us understand who's more likely to stay safe, recover from bad positions, and remain effective if the fight unexpectedly reaches the mat. Starting with takedown defense, Fiziev holds a clear advantage, scoring an 8 compared to Torres' 6. This has become one of the strongest areas of Fiziev's game. Against high-level competition, he's consistently shown the ability to defend takedowns, regain position, and force opponents back into striking exchanges. Torres is capable defensively, but he's not demonstrated the same level of reliability against quality opposition. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu defense, Fiziev extends that advantage, scoring a 7 compared to Torres' 5. Fiziev has developed into a difficult fighter to control and submit, making good decisions while defending on the ground and avoiding prolonged danger. Torres remains functional in this area, but his game is a lot more developed offensively than defensively. Off the back also favors Fiziev, who scores a 6 compared to Torres' 4. Neither one is known for building offense from the guard, but Fiziev has shown a greater ability to stay composed, improve his position, and work his way back to safety when placed underneath an opponent. Torres has fewer examples of successfully navigating difficult ground situations against strong competition. The final category is scrambles, where Fiziev holds a narrow advantage, scoring a 7 compared to Torres' 6. Both fighters are athletic enough to create movement during transitions, but Fiziev's experience and overall defensive awareness make him slightly more reliable when positions begin changing quickly. Because Fiziev holds advantages in takedown defense, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu defense, off-the-back work, and in scrambles, Pillar 4 clearly favors Rafael Fiziev. After evaluating all 16 skills across the 4 pillars, now we can calculate the fighter index composite scores. The composite score answers one question: who is the more complete fighter overall? It's important to remember that this isn't a prediction model. The higher score doesn't guarantee victory, it simply measures overall completeness across every phase of MMA. Rafael Fiziev receives a fighter index composite score of 7.3. Fiziev's score reflects one of the most complete skill sets in the lightweight division. He held advantages throughout the skill matrix, winning all 4 pillars and creating separation in key areas such as fight IQ, striking defense, stamina, wrestling, and overall defensive reliability. Whether the fight remains standing or changes phases, Fiziev possesses the tools to consistently create advantages. Manuel Torres receives a fighter index composite score of 5.6. Torres' score reflects a fighter whose greatest strengths are concentrated in specific areas rather than spread evenly throughout his game. His aggression, power, and finishing ability make him dangerous against anyone, but the skill matrix revealed several areas where he's still developing compared to more established contenders. His success depends less on overall completeness and more on creating the type of fight where his best weapons can take over. Based on the skill matrix, the fighter index sees Rafael Fiziev as the more complete fighter, but completeness doesn't decide fights. The next question is how each fighter can use their strengths to actually win this matchup. Now that we've broken down the fighters individually and examined how their styles and skills interact, we can focus on the most important question: how does each fighter win? This segment identifies the conditions, strategies, and moments each fighter needs to create to give themselves the best chance of victory. Rafael Fiziev's path to victory is built around doing what he does best, turning the fight into a technical striking battle where his superior skill, defense, and decision-making can create advantages over time. Across all 4 pillars, Fiziev holds the edge on paper, but those advantages only matter if he can keep the fight in the type of environment that allows them to show up. The striking battle is the most important area of this matchup. Fiziev's 9 in striking and 8 in striking defense compared to Torres' 8 in striking and 4 in striking defense represent some of the most significant skill gaps in the entire fight. Torres is offensively dangerous, but his aggression creates openings, and Fiziev is one of the best lightweights in the division at identifying and exploiting those openings. If Fiziev can consistently make Torres miss and force him to pay for those mistakes, he can take advantage of the fight without needing to match Torres' aggression. Body attacks should also play a major role in the game plan. Torres is most dangerous when he can maintain pressure and continuously force exchanges. Fiziev's kicking game, particularly his left body kick and calf kick, give him effective tools for slowing that pressure, reducing Torres' explosiveness, and making it more difficult for him to sustain his offense over time. The longer the fight lasts, the more the matchup favors Fiziev. His advantages in fight IQ, stamina, and resolve give him a significant edge if the fight extends beyond the early rounds. Torres has built much of his success around creating finishes before opponents can settle into a rhythm, while Fiziev has repeatedly shown the ability to remain composed and effective deep into fights against elite competition. Fiziev's also shown the option of mixing in wrestling if necessary. While grappling is unlikely to be a primary focus, his advantages at wrestling, takedown offense, and top control provide another way to disrupt Torres' offense and keep him guessing. Even occasional level changes can make Torres less comfortable committing fully to his attacks. For Fiziev, this fight is about discipline. Control the distance, attack the body and legs, make Torres pay for defensive mistakes, and force the fight to become a technical contest rather than a firefight. Manuel Torres' path to victory is built around forcing Rafael Fiziev into the kind of fight he spends his entire career trying to avoid. On paper, Fiziev holds advantages across all 4 pillars, making this a difficult matchup if the fight remains technical, measured, and fought at range. Torres needs to change the terms of the fight and create opportunities where his aggression, power, and finishing instincts become the deciding factors. The striking battle is his best opportunity to win. While Fiziev is the more technical striker, Torres possesses a real power and willingness to take risks that a lot of opponents don't. Fiziev's 8 in striking defense is one of his greatest strengths, but no defensive fighter is impossible to hit. Torres has to force enough exchanges and create enough offensive opportunities to test that defense repeatedly, rather than allowing Fiziev to comfortably control distance and pace. Pressure is crucial. Fiziev's at his best when he can dictate range, pick his shots, and make opponents fight his fight. Torres needs to deny him that comfort, consistently pushing forward, cutting off the cage, and forcing Fiziev to react and help create the kind of exchanges where mistakes become more likely and power becomes less influential. Torres also needs to make this fight matter early. Fiziev's advantages in fight IQ, stamina, and resolve suggest the matchup can become increasingly difficult as the rounds accumulate. Torres has built a success around creating danger from the opening bell, and this fight's no different. The earlier he can force meaningful exchanges, the greater his chances of disrupting Fiziev's game plan before those long-term advantages begin taking over. Most importantly, Torres cannot allow himself to become a target. Marching forward without purpose plays directly into Fiziev's strengths as a counter-striker and defensive technician. His pressure has to be intelligent, layered behind the jab, and built around forcing reactions that open opportunities for his right hand and his combination punching. For Torres, this fight is about creating danger before Fiziev can establish control. force exchanges, pressure consistently, and turn the fight into a contest where power and aggression matter more than technical advantages. So throughout this video, we've examined archetypes, operating systems, strengths, weaknesses, we've scored skills in the skill matrix. Now it's time to answer the biggest question of all: who wins this fight? And when I look at this matchup, I see a lot of reasons to favor Fiziev. He holds advantages in all 4 pillars. He's the more technical striker, he's the more defensively responsible fighter, he has more experience against elite competition, and he has more ways to influence the fight if things don't go according to plan. But most importantly, the areas where Torres is strongest are areas where Fiziev is specifically built to survive and succeed. Torres is at his best when he can force exchanges, create chaos, and capitalize on mistakes. Fiziev's defensive awareness, striking technique, and ability to control distance make that task difficult. That doesn't mean that Torres is without a path to victory. His power, aggression, and finishing ability make him dangerous against anyone in the division. If he can consistently pressure Fiziev, force mistakes, and create damaging moments early, he absolutely has the ability to change this fight. But when I compare both paths to victory, I believe Fiziev's path is wider, more reliable, and supported by more advantages throughout the matchup. So the Fighter Index verdict is Rafael Fiziev is going to win this fight. And that's the full Fighter Index breakdown for Rafael Fiziev versus Manuel Torres. The Fighter Index is designed to evolve as fighters evolve, and community discussion plays an important role in that process. If there's a skill score, a best weapon, or a path to victory that you see differently, let me know in the comments and explain why you see it differently. Do you think Fiziev's technical advantages are enough to control this fight, or can Torres create the kind of dangerous exchanges that turn the matchup upside down? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more Fighter Index analysis. Catch you on the next one.